Hello, this is Nightline and I'm Nakia Basharuddin. The top stories. Tun Dr. Mahathir and Datuk Sri Anwar agree there shouldn't be tension in the transition of power. And PH government to deal with MPs' poor attendance in Parliament. Welcome. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said both he and PKR President Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim have agreed that the transition of power should be conducted without causing too much strain to the country. Tun Dr. Mahathir said the matter was discussed during his 30-minute meeting with the PKR President at the Perdana Leadership Foundation in Putrajaya on Thursday. The Prime Minister said that Datuk Sri Anwar understood the problems faced at this time. As such, it was agreed that there is no need for pressure from the others to make any suggestions, including the date for the transition of power. Tun Dr. Mahathir said this briefly after an event in Kuala Lumpur Summit 2019 in Putrajaya. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Anwar in a statement on Thursday said that during the meeting with the Prime Minister, he stressed that the power transition should take place in a peaceful and orderly fashion. The PKR President also said that both of them have agreed to focus on the economic growth and gearing up towards the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC Summit. On cabinet reshuffle, Tun Dr. Mahathir said it will only be done if all 5 parties in the Pakatan Harapan coalition, including Parti Warisan Sabah, agrees to it. Speaking to reporters after attending the Kuala Lumpur Summit soft launch ceremony at the Perdana Leadership Foundation on Thursday, Tun Dr. Mahathir said he will wait for a discussion to take place within the coalition before making any decision. On Wednesday, Tun Dr. Mahathir said he is mulling a cabinet reshuffle following the heavy defeat for PH in the Tanjung PI by-election. The social media was ablaze after the announcement with suggestions over which minister should be given the boot after 18 months of PH's leadership in the country.
I quote, "We are no longer..."
Earlier, Tun Dr. Mahathir said he also agreed with Datuk Sri Anwar that anyone who wants to be the next Prime Minister must use the right channel. Yesterday, the PKR President had said the position of the Prime Minister must not be won through clandestine measures such as secretive meetings.
There are many other ways of expressing their views. If they don't like me, they can say so openly. I am subject to criticism, like as usual, because if you become a leader, you must expect weakness. We agree with him. It must be through the right way.
The Prime Minister was speaking at a media conference after attending the Employees Provident Fund EPF International Social Wellbeing Conference 2019 in Kuala Lumpur today. Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad on Thursday questioned the professionalism of some members of Parliament who had been absent from the parliamentary sessions. The Prime Minister's remarks came a day after the Dewan Rakyat sitting was halted due to the lack of quorum. It was not the first time that it had happened. A similar situation took place on the 17th of last month, where there wasn't enough quorum in the August House.
Well, this is the second time there's not enough quorum. We'll have to talk to the members of Parliament, because they were very anxious to be candidates for election, but after having been elected, they're not behaving as if they really are serious about serving the people.
The Prime Minister was speaking at a media conference after attending the Employees Provident Fund EPF International Social Wellbeing Conference 2019 in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday. On Wednesday, the Dewan Rakyat sitting had to be delayed temporarily after only 24 MPs were present in the hall, too short of the requirement. The bell had to be rung again to remind MPs to enter. Meanwhile, in his speech at the Employees Provident Fund EPF International Social Wellbeing Conference 2019 on Thursday, Tun Dr. Mahathir said the government is allocating 6.5 billion ringgit to Malaysia at Work to create jobs for Malaysians in the next 5 years, mainly for fresh graduates. He said young Malaysians must be equipped with the right skills or be prepared for socio-economic turmoil.
I want to emphasize that not only do I require the mentioned industries to be personally accountable for the various at-work pillars, I expect the rest of the cabinet to step up, pool their resources, and give every support available to ensure the program's success. If we do this well, Malaysia at Work will be the answer to driving sustainable progress and inclusive social well-being for the entire country.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said the program would be facilitated by the Finance Ministry through the EPF. It will be assisted by the Ministries of Education, Youth and Sports, Women, Family and Development, Home Affairs and Human Resources. Explaining the initiative, the Finance Minister said it will commence in stages beginning second quarter of next year. According to Lim Guan Eng, the wage and hiring incentives under the program will be credited directly into the individual's EPF accounts, offsetting the statutory contributions by the employers and employees.
Any excess amount of the wage incentive will be credited into a special account created by EPF that allows for flexible withdrawal by the employee or employer for any amount, whatever needed. There's no need for them to wait until they are 55 years old. They can withdraw immediately. This mechanism will allow the participation to save for their retirement. And at the same time, the higher disposable income will enable them to support their daily needs.
The program was unveiled in the 2020 budget, which is expected to create up to 350,000 jobs in the next 5 years. The Sarawak government on Thursday filed a writ of summons and a statement of claim against national oil company Petronas for allegedly failing to pay the sales tax to the state. State Law, State Federal Relations and Projects Monitoring Assistant Minister Datuk Sharifah Hasidah Said Aman Ghazali said the case was filed at the Kuching High Court Registry by the state government and the state controller of the state sales tax. In a statement, she said Petronas has not paid the state sales tax for petroleum products under the State Sales Tax Ordinance 1998, which is due to the state. Chief Minister Dato' Abang Johari Openg told the state legislative in its recent sitting that Petronas must pay the state sales tax assessed by the controller effective January 1st. He said the State Assembly had unanimously passed a motion on the matter last November. The Chief Minister also said that if Petronas wanted to reduce the rate of sales tax it owed, then the shortfall must be compensated by the federal government through an arrangement with Petronas. A witness in the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB final audit report tampering trial on Thursday admitted to making a voice recording of a meeting linked to the report. National Audit Department NAD Audit Director Nur Salwani Muhammad said she had done this by slipping in a voice recorder into the pencil case of NAD representative at the meeting, Saadatul Nafisa Bashir Ahmad, without Saadatul's knowledge just before the meeting commenced. Salwani told the Kuala Lumpur High Court she only did that so that she will be able to prepare the minutes of the audit report coordination meeting. The fifth prosecution witness said this during examination in chief by lead prosecutor Datuk Sri Gopal Sri Ram. Salwani added that she and the audit team went back to the NAD office and replayed the recording. She testified that her team was shocked upon hearing the request to omit some things from the report, including on the existence of two 1MDB financial statements. Salwani said the original recording in the device she used was deleted as the device belonged to the government. This was to prevent a leak of information. The audio recording of a meeting linked to the alleged tampering of the 1MDB final audit report was played in the High Court on Wednesday. Former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Mohammad Najib Tun Razak was charged with using his position to order amendments to the 1MDB final audit report before it was tabled to the Public Accounts Committee (PAC) to avoid any action against him. The trial before Justice Muhammad Zaini continues next Wednesday. A former Yayasan Akal Budi director told the Kuala Lumpur High Court on Thursday that he does not know where the Charity Foundation's office is located, despite being a trustee in the foundation. 68-year-old Zulkifli Sentari said he does not know the exact location of the office since he was never invited to any of the foundation's meetings since he was appointed as a director in 1997, the same year the foundation was established. Zulkifli, in testifying at the court, said that year former Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi invited him to be a director at Yayasan Akal Budi and he agreed to the offer. The member of the foundation's Board of Trustees said, however, Datuk Sri Zahid did not explain about the responsibilities and functions of the post. He said he accepted the offer as the former Deputy Prime Minister said the foundation was established to help the people in Bagan Datuk. The witness also told the court that documents in relation with the foundation were signed at either Datuk Sri Zahid's house or at his house. He said during his tenure as a director, no discussions were held on the activities carried out by the foundation or on the expenditure for the projects, and he was never informed by the UMNO president about the sources of the funds obtained to bear the costs for the activities. Zulkifli also testified that he did not know that Yayasan Akal Budi possessed millions of ringgits of funds. The court also heard that 9 local cheques totaling 72,621 ringgit and 13 sen were issued to Maybank to pay for Datuk Sri Zahid's Visa Platinum and MasterCard Gold credit cards and an American Express charge card. Maybank Vice President in charge of the Credit Card Fraud and Dispute Management Department, Anup Singh Gulzara Singh, 46, said the payments were made between February 19, 2014 and July 9, 2015. He said that apart from Kuala Lumpur, Datuk Sri Zahid had also used the cards in Kiev, Ukraine and Seoul, Korea. Media Prima Berhad's net loss in the third quarter ended September 30th, 2019, narrowed to 24.16 million ringgit from a net loss of 30.71 million ringgit recorded a year ago. In an exchange filing on Thursday, Media Prima said lower loss was attributed to the declining trend of core advertising and circulation revenue. In a separate statement on Thursday, Media Prima Group Managing Director Datuk Kamal Khalid said the company will continue to build on the positive growth achieved by its digital and commerce initiatives while taking measures to further improve their costs and operational efficiencies. The group's home shopping and digital revenue increased 9.0% in the third quarter. Its television network's CJ Wow Shop remained on the upswing with a 12% increase to 169.9 million ringgit against 151.9 million ringgit recorded previously. Media Prima had also maintained its leadership positions as Malaysia's most popular source for content. According to ComScore, the group remains Malaysia's top choice for mobile content and has the third highest digital audience reach behind Google and Facebook. In broadcast media, Media Prima remained Malaysia's most watched channels with a 35.2% television audience share. Coming up, major online scam syndicate masterminded by Chinese nationals smash. Details up next. Welcome back. The Defense Ministry is still reviewing the offer by the Russian government for Malaysia to purchase its new fighter jets. Defense Minister Muhammad Sabu said at the moment the Royal Malaysian Air Force has no plans for the purchase. This is as MINDEF is now focusing on defense assets which are meant for maritime security control and patrol to prevent foreign invasion.
TUDM akan terus mengekalkan pesawat pejuang Hornet dan Sukhoi untuk tempoh RMK-12 dan RMK-13. Keperluan terkini adalah perolehan Maritime Patrol Aircraft dan Medium Altitude Long Endurance Unmanned Aerial Vehicle (MALE UAV) serta keupayaan tempur ringan dan latihan juruterbang melalui perolehan Light Combat Aircraft.
Muhammad said this in reply to Pasir Mas MP Ahmad Fadli Shahri of PAS during the question and answer session during the Dewan Rakyat sitting on Thursday. According to Muhammad Sabu, the RMAF has prepared the RMAF Capability Development Plan 2055, which outlines the overall plan to transform the capability of the RMAF until 2055. He said the plan will cover procurement of new assets in line with the passage of time, replacement of outdated aircrafts, and the upgrading of existing assets. PKR will proceed with its Sarawak convention scheduled for this Saturday in Miri. The party's Secretary General, Datuk Sri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail, said that the decision to hold the state convention had already been drafted and decided at the party's Central Leadership Council and the Political Bureau.
Semua negeri telah diberikan jadual dan pelaksanaannya mengikut jadual. Ya, jika sekiranya ada pandangan sebaliknya, saluran yang betul adalah untuk mencadangkan perkara itu kepada Majlis Pimpinan Pusat dan juga Biro Politik. Barulah satu keputusan dibuat. Jadi sehingga proses itu dilakukan, kita akan meneruskan pada 23 hari bulan ini.
He spoke to the media at the opening of a mall in Kuala Lumpur on Thursday. His remarks came a day after Sarawak PKR chief Baru Bian said that the state's convention has been called off. Baru had reportedly said that the cancellation was not his decision, but was made by a majority of the Central Leadership Council members. The Immigration Department busted the largest online scam syndicate believed to be run by Chinese nationals in the country. 680 people were arrested in the raid, the department's biggest single crackdown this year. Immigration Department Director General Datuk Khairul Zaimi Daud said that the syndicate was operating from a 6-story building in Cyberjaya. Wednesday's raid was the end result of a month's worth of surveillance following complaints from the public. He said the office was well secured, with guards stationed at each floor and rooms only being accessible with access cards. In the operation, about 8,230 handphones, 174 laptops and 787 computers were seized. During the raid, the group tried to attack the enforcement officers.
Saya ingin memaklumkan bahawa semasa operasi dijalankan, jabatan menganggarkan terdapat lebih kurang 100 ke 150 warga negara Cina ini yang berjaya melarikan diri apabila mereka merempuh kepungan yang telah dibuat oleh pegawai-pegawai imigresen. Semasa rumpuhan ini berlaku, terdapat di kalangan mereka yang mengalami kecederaan dan walau bagaimanapun telah diberikan bantuan rawatan.
He added that the group had been operating in Malaysia for about 6 months and that the building was used as a call center. All were found to have entered the country via social visit passes.
Mengenai modus operandi sindiket ini, mereka mensasarkan mangsa di negara China dengan memberikan tawaran dan keuntungan yang tinggi dan boleh kononnya diperolehi dengan pantas. Operator-operator ini akan menghantar satu kod kepada pelanggan dari laman web tertentu yang kesemuanya menggunakan bahasa Mandarin.
He added that the Chinese embassy had been notified of developments. In Pahang, 4 security firm employees were detained after they were suspected of stealing and concealing cash worth 600,000 ringgit. The incident occurred when the suspects were assigned to deliver cash collected from several banks totaling 2.8 million ringgit. Pahang Police Chief Dato' Abdul Jalil Hassan said the security firm's personnel found some cash missing upon inspecting the money bags delivered by the suspects and lodged a police report. Authorities later recovered the cash hidden in a hotel room in Raub. All suspects have been remanded until Friday to facilitate investigations under the Penal Code. In Perlis, the State National Border Security Agency, AXEM, thwarted an attempt to smuggle 1,200 kilograms of ketum leaves after a 10-kilometer chase at Kubang Tiga, Padang Besar, where 5 suspects were nabbed. It is believed that the suspects obtained the supply of ketum leaves from Kedah and collected it before renting the 3 cars for smuggling. The total seizure amounted to 219,000 ringgit. The case is being investigated under the Poisons Act 1952. Still to come on Nightline, Thai police seize 2 million amphetamine pills in record bust. Do stay with us. We're back with the foreign news. Thai police have seized a record 2 million amphetamine pills worth $4.7 million during a raid in Narathiwat, which was conducted following a tip-off from the public about a warehouse in Muang, Narathiwat district. During the 12:30 a.m. raid, about 43 packages of amphetamine pills were recovered, and it was believed that the seized drugs were being smuggled into Malaysia to be sold to the local market. Police have, however, refused to reveal the names of the suspects involved, believed to be part of the Chai Chana gang that is actively operating in Sungai Golok area near the Kelantan border. Firefighters battled hundreds of bushfires across Australia on Thursday as parts of the southeastern state of Victoria were declared Code Red. This is the first time a Code Red, the equivalent of catastrophic fire rating in other states, has been declared in Victoria since January 2010. By early afternoon, dozens of fires were burning across the state, and temperatures of 40.9 Celsius in Melbourne, its capital, matched the hottest day on record in 1894. Authorities also warned residents of towns about 50 kilometers north of Ballarat that it was too late for them to evacuate safely. This after power to more than 100,000 homes was knocked out amid lightning strikes and strong gusty winds of more than 110 kilometers per hour that knocked tree branches into power lines.